Okay, Tomikskinaatoni.
Okay.
Sakitaniko.
Nitanak Nistokok Aipiihkwikomootakii.
And you're the director of?
I'm the director of Wellness Center.
Okay, so we've commissioned a couple of art pieces from Kalum Teke Dan, Blackfoot member from the Blood Tribe. He painted a couple of murals for you. Could you tell us a bit about this one and what was the inspiration for this?
This is the billboard, and through family input and ideas, their narrative, their stories, talking about their family members who were murdered since 1960 through to present day. So we have that background. Kalum sat with us during our family meetings, and he culminated the idea as they were talking and sharing, listening to the stories, understanding Blackfoot history and the importance of connection, ceremony, and healing. So this piece talks about the transformation from the grief and loss and the pain and the violence through to the spirit world, through to celebrating, going home, and honoring one spirit. So we add in the Ninestico, the chief mountain, as a symbolism of our Blackfoot territory. We see the man and the woman. We see the grief and sorrow then, transformed to this healing and celebration and honor. But the billboard itself will be placed at the different entrance ways to the reserve to continue the awareness and education of colonial legacy of violence and oppression, so that all people know that we are sacred, that we honor our lives, we honor our children, our mothers, our fathers, and each other. Through ceremony, through song, through understanding our traditional Siksikaititibi ways of knowing and being.
As art and music helps the spirit to express, to process, to heal, what do you hope people take from this billboard as they enter the four directions of our reserve?
Well, I hope that they can visualize, that they can feel, that they have empathy and compassion, and then it triggers something in each person. So my hope is that they understand the sacredness of humans, of who we are, and that we're all connected, and that all lives matter, and that they come to know themselves as well, and want or desire to continue to educate themselves on the issues relating to Indigenous people, especially when we're on our traditional territory. We need to feel safe. We need to create avenues of understanding. We need to move forward to systemic reconciliation.
Tell us a bit about the work that the Wellness Center is doing with regard to murdered and missing women. I know there are some families here in the reserve that are still grieving, still searching. What are some of the efforts and maybe some of the numbers that we're looking at here in the Blood Reserve?
So, wellness program, we continue to provide mental health support, emotional support, and cultural support. We are called to various crises. We're called to family gatherings, but we also support families when they reach out to us regarding them still experiencing grief and loss. We also want to ensure that we provide pathways of education and awareness. And as we move forward in our vision and mission, we also will continue to be visible and provide community engagement through workshops and healing circles, land-based healing, community gatherings, in ceremony, through song, through dance, and through visual arts. And so we want to expand our programs and projects, decolonize, if you will, to ensure we capture all elements of who we are as Pii'tay'poiyii people.
Okay, so as the artist mentioned, there are some spaces available here to include some text. Are you able to share or perhaps give us a hint as to what this billboard will say as people enter the reserves from the 4 directions?
So there's a space here. I think we will provide a theme of we're all sacred. And we will provide the Blackfoot wording for that to capture all beings. And even in that is inclusive of the plants, the animals, the air, the water. So we're all sacred. And as we talk and teach of our historical and traditional relationships with the animals around us, when we honor ourselves, we also honor everything around us.
So what's the name of this particular piece?
Transformational Healing.
Okay. All right. Any last comments? Maybe a current update on where we are with regard to murder and missing women. Unfortunately, women are still going missing. Unfortunately, there are families that are still looking. Any last comments on that?
So recent reports provide or state that for Indigenous women, the rate of being murdered is 12 times the national average. So when we create that awareness on a national, international level, we then start creating ripples of change and planting seeds of the reality of how we live. And it's not just that alone. We need to create awareness of the systems that we operate in, the systemic violence, oppression, racism, but again, that transformation from the violence and oppression through to a shared understanding of systemic reconciliation, systemic understanding, systemic forgiving, moving forward together as equals, as partners, creating a safe place for 7 generations to come.
Thank you.
You're welcome.